Alright, with the upcoming release of ProffieOS 3, as well as the episode 9, I've been playing around with some styles for crossguards, and I've added them to my library. So there's a few variations available, but I just wanted to kind of demonstrate. So ProffieOS 3 has a ton of features to it, and there's, obviously it's in beta today, but I believe Frederick will be releasing it really soon. He's almost done testing. So what I did was I took my unstable blade, and then I kind of put in a bunch of the new capabilities. So this is what I consider my Kylo Ren kind of canon, but I did add in some bells and whistles just because it's available. So one of the first ones I did on this uses responsive blade. And what that is there's a SwingSpeed function. So on this one, it's more subdued. I do have other ones that are much brighter, much different, but because I'm using this at the premiere, I want it to be subdued, I want it to stay red. But with responsive blade, you can actually have the blade change color completely, go bright white, change the speed of the effects. But for this one, it's going to be a little subdued, but what it is as you move the blade actually gets slightly brighter, and the speed of that instability, so there's an unstable run-up, that'll pick up. So medium swing, you'll see it a little bit, but fast swing, you'll see it much more. So now this is still subtle, so I do have ones that are much brighter, much different looking, but I wanted to kind of take that responsive blade, keep it a little bit more canon. So this one is not quite as nuts, but it still has responsive blade built in. And then there was a number of transitions available, using transition effects built into OS 3, so I added those as well. So there's a transition effect on ignition, which is similar to power up from the port. There's an effect on retraction, which is the cooldown effect. So here's cooldown, you'll see that. That's the power up. And then you also have, for lockup now, there's going to be a quick flash of the entire blade, the localized lockup with animation, and then you'll get a cooldown effect after lockup. So that's the transitions on lockup. There's also a transition on drag, so there'll be a flash, the effect, and then a fade out. So instead of just turning off, now it fades out. And then with OS 3, there's also a stab effect. And with the stab effect, you're going to get a wipe in and then a fade out of the effect. So that's on there. So that's basically the main stuff. And then for OS 3, one of the big changes is there's a default color change called the color wheel. If you wanted to take this unstable style but do it in a different color, you can now without having to reprogram it. You can actually just use the color wheel. So you enter the menu, and then while you're in the menu, as you rotate your hilt, it'll go through all the possible colors. And you can choose whatever color you like. You can go as slow or as fast as you want. It lets you really fine-tune that color. And it'll keep all the unstable effects. It'll keep the responsive swing. It'll keep all the transitions. And then you can get to a color you like, lock it in, and then it'll work. So this has the same thing. It'll have the speed up and the brightness based on the speed of the swing. And then all the other effects are there.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Now I've also updated Pull to the Darkness, and many of you are familiar with that. So Pull to the Darkness starts out as Ben Solo's Blue Blade, or if the trailers are to be believed, this could be Rey. And then this also has responsive swing. Now on the blue, it goes to an almost white. So based on the speed, as I get faster, the blade will almost go completely white. This does have obviously the power up effect. It has the lockup with the flash, localized lockup, the transition out. It's got the drag. It's got the stab. And then this uses the color change function with a transition to do the corruption to the darkness. So now I'm going into my Kylo Ren Unstable. And then again, this has, now on the Kylo Ren Unstable, this uses my one. So it's a very subtle change on SwingSpeed, but it will pick up speed in the instability and it gets a little bit brighter. based on how fast you're swinging it. So really fast swings will get brighter with a little bit more speed in there, and then slow is a little bit noticeable increase. So this was meant to be a little more canon, so I didn't add all that white or other effects on the Kylo Ren side. But you can do that, and I do have styles that I call showcase that already have that in there. I do have an unstable version with a showcase, either with a white or a contrast. So because those are already there, I didn't want to bother with that here. So this is a more subtle one for my specific canon use. And then again, you get all your transitions. So you're going to get your flash, localized lockup, and cooldown. Same thing on drag. And then on stab. And then with this one, you can also go back now. So this has on-demand capability. So I can do a redemption from Kylo Ren back to Ben Solo, or from the trailers, from Dark Ray to Ray, and then Ray back to Dark Ray. So this lets you do the transitions as many times as you want. So this is the Pull to the Darkness. This is the OS 3.0 version. So I have a number of different versions for all the forks and different versions, but this is there. And then I've also got two other variations on Kylo Ren blades. Just from playing around and testing, I kind of mixed some things together to see what I liked better, but I figured I'd offer them in case somebody else likes them. The first one that I showed is my favorite. That's the one I'm going to be using at the premiere. But this one, what this does is, it's got all the same effects, but the responsive blade on this changes. So responsive blade on this actually goes from unstable to stable. So the more I move the blade, you'll see that unstable effects start to go away and the blade gets brighter. And then really fast, it becomes a completely stable audio flicker with a much brighter effect. So if this is to your liking, that's there. And then again, it's got all the transitions. So it's got cooldown, power up, it's got the flash on lockup, and then the cooldown, that's drag. Lockup, it's got the stab effect. So the big change on this one from my Kylo Ren version, this just goes from unstable to stable. Everything else is basically the same. This also, because there's no color change built in, this also has the color wheel capability. So you can rotate through all your colors. So right now I do have red on the library, so if you wanted a different blade with the same effects, just use the color wheel to get to that color. I'll try to get other colors built out. It's just the time and prep and how long these styles take to build and test, I didn't get a chance. But you can go through all your colors, lock in what you like. So this is a variation that's also up on the library. This is the unstable to stable variation. And then lastly, I took that and I reversed it, and I have a stable to unstable. So again, all the same transitions, all the same effects, but this one is going to be at a standing state, it'll be stable, and then as you move it, it'll start to get unstable. And then the really fast one will get much more unstable. So this one just goes the opposite of the other one. And then again, it's got the power, cooldown, power up, localized lockup with the cooldown, and then there is that quick flash. The initial flash is the whole blade, and then localized lockup. And then drag has a flash and a fade out. And then the stab has that white bit animation. So this is the stable to unstable with responsive blade up on the library. And then again, just like the previous one, right now it's in red. If you wanted the color change, use the color wheel, which is default to OS 3. And you can play around and get to the color you like. So with the color wheel, it's based on how much you turn the hilt. So small turns make small changes. Big turns obviously make much bigger changes. But you can pretty much go through all the colors here. Lock it in. And then again, it'll be a stable, and then as you swing it, it'll get unstable. So it keeps all those effects based on it. It just lets you change that color. So all these are available. There's a lot of stuff you could do with OS 3. There's actually so much functionality now with transitions and everything else that I'm trying to build out a bunch of styles. If you haven't seen it already, I do have a group of styles I call Showcase. They basically like through the kitchen sink at stuff. And those are meant to, if you like them, great, but those are really more just road maps, so they could be kind of overstuffed, but you can play with those. These are available along with a few other styles, but with OS 3, there's just so much to do. I don't think I'll ever get a library that covers everything, so I'm sure as you guys get in there and start playing with it, people will come up with some great stuff. But responsive blade, it uses the swing speed function. If you're not sure how to do it, I would say take one of these styles or take one of the showcase styles and kind of break it apart, and it'll kind of demonstrate some of the methods. There's a lot of ways to do it, but how I've done it. So lots of stuff. Hopefully everybody enjoys the movie and everybody gets their hands on OS 3.